This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 23rd of September. My disclaimer: I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope that you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at ES. Now, I did the. I hope you saw the bigger picture webinar last night. But obviously, I'll be covering all of that again this morning. But we have seen a bit of a pullback here. But if we're going to see an RSI 5 sell signal fix here, we're going to need to see a bit more of a retracement and a retest of the high. But there are some indications that we are seeing a high here, so I'm watching that carefully. And in the meantime, we don't have any negative divergence, and it looks like a bull flag forming at the moment. On NQ, we've got nice looking support trend line here, possible wedge forming, no current divergence there either. RTY broke down from the rising support here, again looks like a bull flag forming. YM again looks like a bull flag forming. I'm expecting to see, we're probably going to see, well, I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of the high today, actually. But we may be setting up for a larger retracement to set up an RSI 5 sell signal when we do that. DAX and ESTX. DAX possibly forming a head and shoulders, maybe. Broken rising support very slightly on ESTX. Again, these all look like flags. And they kind of look like the kind of flags that will break up into retest of the all-time high today. Let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Yes, if we're going to see an RSI 5 sell signal set up here, then we're going to need to see a larger retracement and a retest. Exactly the same on SPX. Obviously, we had a possibility of setting them up here, but obviously we went up too high. We have, however, retested the high on ES, so that obviously is a box ticked, although that's not necessarily, historically, that's not necessarily required when making a high. Why am I thinking there might actually be a high here? Well, we actually made it to the 30 level on the SPX ADP. And you can see that the time before last that we hit that, we saw a high consolidation, then consolidation retracement the time before. This one here got a more or less, well, fairly quick high. We may well see the same again here. We may be forming a high. There's one other indicator as well, which I'm watching, which is that I'm always watching the volume. And the volume here, we've got the largest spike since 2021. So this is a very serious volume spike. Now, this doesn't always mean you make a high, but it's one of the things you often see when you're making a high. So watching that carefully. It's looking at SPX. Got a possible wedge here on the bigger picture. If we can see the ideal trend line to hit for making a high, it would probably be this trend line here, which I've got in about the 57.50 area. Looking at the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fix, but it's only a relatively weak one, and we could lose it if we go higher. We will see how it goes. But I think in terms of trend lines on the bigger picture, I'm watching this trend line here, which I was mentioning on my post last week, and you can see we've come up and touched it again exactly. We will see how that goes. But in terms of the inflection point here, which we are still most definitely in, there are some indicators that we might reverse back down here. So we'll see. NDX. Nothing on the 15-minute really. So possible rising wedge here, which hasn't reached the wedge support yet, and that could be a flag target before we go back and retest the high. No current divergence on the hourly chart. On the daily chart, we are again in a situation where a pullback and a retest could give us an RSI 5 sell signal. Looking at Dow, nice looking rising wedge, again hasn't tested the rising support yet. Quite a nice overall wedge on here on the hourly, and we've come up and we've tested the ideal resistance trend line. The obvious next target within the wedge would be this wedge support, which would be down about the 39.650 area. Quite a nice looking pattern actually, and I am taking it seriously. I've got it marked in again here on the daily. All right, looking at IWM. We've got decent looking flag set up here. Not a bad one, actually. These all do look like bull flags short term, and we may well see those play out to short term high retests today. But if we do see that, then we may see larger retracements that you can see on the daily chart starting there. On the 15-minute, still on an RSI 14 sell signal. We're on an RSI 14 sell signal, quite a nice one on the hourly chart. On the daily chart, again, we've actually already retraced enough to set up an RSI 5 sell signal here, but we could retrace a bit more, and they could all do it together if we are going to see a reversal here. All right, so are we going to turn back down here? Well, actually, I'm seeing more indications that we might do that than I was seeing last week. We will see. DX, we've got a nice second double bottom here, and we have actually got quite a lot of positive divergence on the daily chart. I am wondering if we might see a decent rally here, and there's certainly at least some indications that we might see a pullback on metals. ZB has broken down from this double top, and we are heading towards the target. I've got that in the 124.07 to 124.10 area, and we may see a test of the monthly pivot at 123.23. CL, I was noting last week that we'd made the possible near miss target on CL. I've rolled this into November now, of course. We made the possible near miss target on CL, and we've now made that on WTIC as well. So this is the sort of thing where we could see a fail any minute. I think this is a counter trend bounce, and it's possible we could turn down here really at any time. NG, I'm delighted with. I was talking about the possibility that we need to get back up to about the 2.85, 2.9 area as part of the triangle that was forming on the chart. And here we are, back up pretty much at 2.8. I think this triangle may be forming, but a little bit of negative divergence here. Not enough really, and not interesting enough that I've marked it in yet, but we could be forming a sell signal here. We've not quite reached the target here. I'd be looking for a move really ideally to about the 2.9 area where I've got the triangle resistance. GC has gone a bit higher here. Possible topping action, 60-minute sell signal fixed. SI, nice looking larger double bottom here, really not bad. No current negative divergence here. And HG, we had a nice looking rising channel here, and that has broken down. This could be part of an overall flag. I don't think, how well does that good look from a trend line point of view? Not bad, but not awesome. So this could be an overall bear flag forming. We have broken down slightly here, but the weak 60-minute sell signal has reached a possible near miss target. That could be done to the downside. All right, great. Let's have a look at KC. KC looks like a flag, maybe about to break up and head back up to a retest this high here in the 272.40 area. SB. Possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. I have got targets higher here on SB, significantly higher, so I'm wondering if we'll go and test them first. CC may well be returning back to what I was talking about, the retest this high here, just over 8,200, so about 8,220. ZW, we broke up from this IHS, and it's been thinking about failing 4 days. Hasn't failed yet, but I've got to say, looking at the grains overall, I'm wondering about further down. Possible double top here, but would be improved by a full retest of this high here in about the 416 area. On soy, I was saying this would be improved by a retest of this high here at 103.25, and we're pretty close to that now. On CT, haven't made it to the targets yet. I've got the targets in about the 75.1, 75.4 area, and leaning towards making that, but we have got a 60-minute sell signal fixed now. On lumber, lumber is thinking about failing the head and shoulders, but we would need to see if we get back up to 529. This head and shoulders will have failed, and we'll probably head back to a retest this high here at 547. Until then, we've still got a target down in the 473 area. On live cattle, nice looking double bottom on the October, less so on the December when I rolled it, but I'm treating this as a double bottom, and it's got a target up here in about the 186 area. And lean hogs, we've got nice looking potential double top here, and we've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fix. Might see this play out. Not the strongest setup, but we will see how it goes. All right, let's have a look at questions and have a review of VS. Oh, Nikkei. Okay, let's have a look at Nikkei. Right, Nikkei. I think this really depends on whether we're going to break up or down on the overall inflection point. If we are going to break up, then we're back over the 200 DMA. We're testing the 50 DMA. We're back over the daily middle band as well. So potentially this is bullish. And the last one in the ribbon, and the ribbon of moving averages is at 38,400. See a strong break over that, and we could be heading back up into a retest of the high. DAX, which is the other main foreign one I look at on the daily chart, we've got a beautiful nested double top here. But obviously that doesn't need to play out. That could equally play out, break up just like the others. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at ES. Just to recap. ES, short term, it looks like bull flags really on all of the indices here. We're probably going to see retests the high. We may well see those today. If we are going to set up negative divergence and possible daily RSI 5 sell signals on the on ES, on NQ, on RTY, we're going to need to see a larger retracement. But the retest of this high here could set up that larger retracement. So if we see that, I'd be looking for 5800 area on ES. Then if we see a sustained breakdown below about the 5730 area, then we could see a move down into about the 5660 area. And if that shows up on the daily chart, i.e. we can hold the decline into the end of the day, then we can set up potential negative divergence, retest the high, and we could potentially get across the board daily RSI 5 sell signals brewing. If we are going to see a reversal, that would be nice to see. I wouldn't say the case for a reversal here was a very strong one, but we're certainly seeing a lot more indicators than we were seeing last week. And I am taking it seriously as a possibility. We will see how it goes. All right, well, my pleasure as always, guys. I'll have this posted as soon as possible, and I'll catch you guys later. All right, cheers.